So welcome to day 3, the Numerology of Business Masterclass series. I'm so excited for all of these incredible conversations that we've been having as you guys have been learning about the numbers and the power of combining numbers and words, and just looking at everything from a numerology perspective, specifically in our business, is just so fun. What a completely different way to approach our business, to let go of that old masculine paradigm, that old way of doing business, which we know does not work anymore, and integrate some of these new pieces, maybe not so new to some people, that support our intuition, right? That support our divine feminine qualities and allow us to show up in a much grander way in terms of feminine leadership, which that's what business has been missing for so long, is the balance of the masculine and feminine, right? So today we're going to focus on the energetics and strategy. So the things that we have covered in day 1 and 2, we're tapping more into the feminine qualities of business, and it does need and want the masculine structure in order to be able to move forward. So let's do a quick review. The law of energetics comes before the law of attraction. So if we do not understand energetics, attracting what it is that we desire is going to be extremely difficult. And when we get frustrated because we are not manifesting that which we desire, then we just create more situations and scenarios that cause more frustration. And we get stuck in that loop. So always come back to the basics, come back to your ruling number, come back to your psychic number. This is the basis and the foundation for you as a heart conscious leader and as a spiritual entrepreneur. The heart intelligence piece is creating a relationship with the numbers and words. And we do this because that partnership creates more potency and more power. The intelligence of our heart has that electromagnetic field that's 5,000 times stronger than that of the mind. So we're bridging the two. We're ensuring that the heart and the mind are working together. And that creates so many more opportunities for us to stand in our power and call in our desires. Our heart compass combines how it is that we want to feel and how we want our clients to feel, our family, our friends, our community, the world at large. So how it is that we want to feel those feelings and the emotions and the values in which we embody. Choosing your heart compass aligned with your energetic code amplifies your efforts. It just makes sense. Again, when we bring it back to other modalities, let's use Clifton Strength Finder, for example, because I mentioned that before I started the recording. You can do 2 different types of surveys. One unlocks your top 5 skills, and the other unlocks everything. And as humans, we have a tendency to go to what's at the bottom of the list and say, well, this isn't what I'm good at, so that's what I'm going to focus on. It doesn't work. What we're meant to do is go to the top 5 strengths that we have and build skills within those top 5 strengths. That's how we amplify our efforts. So to bring it back from a numerology perspective and an energetics perspective, it just makes sense to look at our own personal energetic code. If I'm a 5, I value freedom. I don't like being told what to do. I'm going to forge new paths. I'm going to disrupt things. I'm going to do things a lot differently than other people. And I'm going to kick your ass to encourage you to make the changes that are going to support you to create that handcrafted life and business that you love. It just makes more sense for me to be who I came here to be, and same for you, right? And we want to amplify those efforts. Remember, think it, feel it. That's the first 2 steps. And today we're going to talk about doing it. We got to do it. We have to let the universe know, yes, I'm thinking about this. Yes, I'm feeling about this. But in order for us to actually be a vibrational match for our desires, it does require the masculine. It does require us to take some inspired action, to let the universe know that, hey, I'm here to play and I'm serious. Let's work together. And that feels really good, doesn't it? We do not get clarity through thought. We do not get clarity through feelings. We get clarity through action. This masterclass series is a perfect example. This is the first time I've ever hosted it in the first 3 days, probably 2 minutes into it. And I said it out loud, I believe. Why didn't I do this sooner? But this is supporting a new funnel in my business. This is supporting a new way for me to connect, a new way for me to be generous, a new way to provide value to my soulmate clients, and a new way for me to authentically attract other people. Makes sense, right? So when it comes to soulful strategies, the first thing that I will always recommend is to focus on you first. What are the heart conscious rituals? What are your day-to-day choices that are going to support you to feel how it is that you want to feel? So remember, we're using a feelings first approach because those feelings represent our energetic code, and we want to amplify, tap into power, tap into potency. So if we're looking at how it is that we want to feel, then the next step is, what am I going to do on a day-to-day basis in order to feel that way? I call these my non-negotiables. What are my daily non-negotiables? And they could be so simple. 8 hours sleep, drinking 3 liters of water, eating high vibrational foods, body movement, essential oils. So I'd love for you to pop in the chat. What would be some of your daily non-negotiables that are going to support you to feel how it is that you want to feel? Luminously rooted in abundance, deep, authentic, creative connections, kind of a big deal. The number one thing I do every single day to tap into my heart compass is gratitude. Is immediately writing down, what am I grateful for? Gratitude is an attitude. It changes everything. It shifts our electromagnetic field. And I do think about luminously rooted in abundance. When it comes to that aspect of my heart compass, what am I grateful for? In the last couple of weeks, I'm grateful for my body's ability to heal. I played 7 slow pitch games within a week. And that's a lot for this old bird. I know I look fabulous and it doesn't seem like I'm old, but playing slow pitch at this age, the recovery time is a little bit different than when I started back in 2007. So I'm always grateful for my body's ability to heal. Because this is a universal 8 energy year, and I'm going to dive into this in a moment, I frequently express gratitude for the abundance that's in my life and for the abundance that I'm calling in and for the abundance that I am allowed to generate in my life because of my creativity, because of my gifts, because of my connections. So what would be some of those daily non-negotiables for you that are going to support you to feel how it is that you want to feel, to immediately shift your electromagnetic field and tap into your heart compass? Oh, this is really cool. I didn't realize that the chat just picked up from yesterday and a hummingbird just flew by in front of the window. This is an amazing sign. Hummingbird's always my mom, my spiritual support team is always here. So she just popped by to say, hey, I'm here. Follow the message of my cards. Yeah, I love pulling cards. I pulled a 10 of clubs today. What a beautiful card to pull in terms of abundance and having so much wisdom and knowledge to share and gathering groups of people, right? Definitely movement for me, keeping my morning tea time ritual. Love that. Meditating, stretching, yoga, drinking water. What do I need to add? Intentionally scheduling and aligning to the energies of the day. Yeah. Morning altar ritual. I love that. And there's aspects of our energetic code as well, 1122 as I'm saying this, that will give us indications of what's important in terms of our daily non-negotiables. Anytime I'm working with somebody as a ruling number 4, it is a must that they have a grounding practice every single day. Now, every single ruling number, in my opinion, should be tapping into body movement. But again, for that 4 energy, body movement is a must. My partner is a ruling number 4. So anytime I see him struggling or stressed or burnt out, that's the solution. We're going to the beach and we're just going to lay on the sand. If he does have energy, then I send him out into the woods. Why don't you go fishing for the day when it's fishing season? And he comes back completely different. He needs this as a ruling number 4. I'm a 3. And so for me, it's mental stimulation on a regular basis. It's important for me to tap into my creativity on a regular basis. And I was sharing with a girlfriend who's an artist. She's the artist of the 2024 Soulful Planner. I said, in the last half of 2024, it's important for me to come back to my creative practices that have nothing to do with my business and start opening up my journal. I have an art journal, and just doing, just even if it's doodling, just coming back to those creative practices. And because I'm a ruling number 3, I have to have daily non-negotiables of ways to get out of my head because I can get stuck in my head overthinking, analysis paralysis a lot. Gratitude, dancing, happy juice, and taking moments for myself. I absolutely love that. Hummingbirds are definitely a big time signs from my team. I love that. Hummingbirds, their wings, they move in a figure 8. I don't know if you guys know this. So they move in a figure 8. So they are also a really incredible representation of the universal 8 energy. 8 loves momentum and, loves that fast pace. And I love the work ethic of a hummingbird, which also represents the 8. So it could have been something that I put on the front of the 2024 Soulful Planner. Maybe next time it's a universal 8 energy year, it'll be a hummingbird. Love it. They're also the only bird that can fly in any direction. They can. I watch them dive bomb all the time. They're like little UFOs, right? Little spaceships. Beautiful. So when it comes to strategic planning, have those basics, have the daily non-negotiables, and also tap into that higher perspective first. Whenever we're mapping things out, building a conscious business plan or a soulful strategic plan for our business, the first things that we are planning for are the things that bring us joy, abundance, freedom, love, the things that tap us into our heart compass. So in my world with my clients, the first thing I recommend is they map out their vacations. And they're like, wait, I haven't even made any money yet. What are you talking about? This is nervous system regulation. Again, if you're winging it, you're wanking it. Your nervous system needs to know, that divine feminine in you needs to know that the masculine is going to protect it. So map out the vacations first. Then map out your work hours. The greatest thing that my therapist did for me in 2014 after losing my mom, she told me to not schedule things 2 days a week. And at that time, that gave me anxiety. I had a mini breakdown in her office. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, nothing, schedule nothing. I'm like, that's impossible. I don't know how people do that. And she said, this is why you're burnt out, Anne-Marie. And you're using your schedule and choosing to do things to ignore feeling how it is that you need to feel right now. So map out your week. What do you want each quarter to look like? What do you want each month to look like? What do you want each week to look like? What do you want your day to look like? The immersion in the Soulful Planner can support you with that if that's something that you're interested in. I had a beautiful Voxer message from one of my long-term clients yesterday, and we had a giggle. She was celebrating some of her wins. She said, not only did I work on my course all day on Monday, but I also took half a day on Wednesday. And she said, remember a couple of months ago when I thought it was virtually impossible to take half a day to just be creative? And she's like, and now I took 2 days in 1 week during business hours. And I can hear it in her voice, and I can sense her energy just through those Voxer messages. How much joy, love, abundance, and freedom she's experiencing in doing that, and the excitement and the creative downloads that are coming through, particularly as it relates to the structure of her course. She's not lacking in wisdom. She's not lacking in, what's the information that I'm going to be sharing in the course. What she was struggling with was the masculine, was the structure of it. But by giving herself space and grace to do things outside of business, it came to her like that. And it's beautiful. She's like, I'm going to integrate numerology and tarot. Who do you know that's a therapist or a sex coach that is doing those things? She goes, I think it's really unique and really creative. I'm like, please do this and let me help. I love it. So we're connecting next week to keep that forward momentum going. Meditation is my go-to to get out of my head. As soon as I feel myself getting too much into my head, I find a guided meditation and reconnect my heart to my heart space instead. Me too. I have so many vibration frequencies that are saved on my YouTube channel, and I'll pop my noise canceling headphones on and just close my eyes and take a few deep breaths. The older I get, the more difficult it is for me to sleep as well. And I find that this is an incredible practice for going back to sleep. The next thing we do is look at the energetic layers that are coming through for us universally and personally. So again, numerology has many layers to it. So there is an energy that we are experiencing personally that is specific to us. And then there is a code for the universal collective consciousness. So when I do my energetic forecasts, I'm always speaking to the collective consciousness. This is the energy that is coming through for all of us, and how that benefits us in our business. We can understand what our clients are potentially going to go through. We can create content to speak specifically to what they're about to experience because we understand those universal energies. One of my mentors was absolutely incredible at sending emails, and it made me feel like she was in my head in my meditation or reading my journal. And I wondered for years, how does she do it? How does she know to speak to me directly and always talk about exactly what it is that I'm experiencing? Then I started paying attention in her membership that she always made these recommendations from this person, and this person only had initials. There wasn't a face to them. They never showed up in the community, but it was this person with initials says that this is what's coming through cosmically. And then I realized it's not my mentor that I want to become. It's this VS person. This VS person has got it going on. They're the one that knows what's coming down the pipe and how to plan for that. I have the arrow of the planner 1, 2, 3. So having a plan is so important to me. It's also probably why strategy is one of my top strengths. And the 7, 8, 9, the arrow of activity, means that I know how to support you to create that plan, but take it across the business, or take it across the business line. Yeah. Take it across the finish line of your business or life in a way that's really successful. So I was like, if these are my top strengths, wouldn't that be extremely beneficial for me and for my soulmate clients to understand these energies that are coming through? When numerology came on board, I was like, boom, this is how this VS person does it. So this year we are experiencing a universal 8 energy. If you haven't watched the 2024 energy forecast, please do. I give so much gold in terms of predictions for this year and soulful strategies. For example, in business, this is an incredible year for us to niche down, to get really clear on who your soulmate clients are and to speak to them directly. Now, it doesn't mean that If, for example, right here, right now, I am working with spiritual entrepreneurs that I can't go back to creating a course for teens, but right now, the importance is to focus, follow one course until success, because 8 is about devotion, commitment, mastery. So it's not time to necessarily branch out, but to really hone in and create those systems and structures, because 8's comprised of 2 4s, to really build that strong foundation and bring it to success in that 2025 9 energy year and call it into completion. So my intention with this universal 8 energy year is to niche down, to get really specific on the soulmate clients that I'm attracting. And I've been doing this for years, but the work is never done. Bring it into completion in 2025. And if I've reached a certain level of abundance, which the 8 energy is helping us do, because this year is about reclaiming the power of infinite abundance, then I can consider creating something possibly for another niche, or sticking with who it is that I'm working with, and just, again, building more skills and building more strengths and supporting my soulmate clients to also build strengths within their business as well. It's been on my heart for so long to teach people how to build a spiritual support team. I get these questions all the time. Anne-Marie, how do we know we have a spiritual support team? Who's on our spiritual support team? Can I call other people into my spiritual support team? I'm like, I want to carve out the space and time for this because it would be so fun. And my artist friend who created the cover art for the Soulful Planner is also an extremely gifted medium. I was like, we need to partner up. How incredible would that be if I supported people to understand a spiritual support team? And she also said, you know what? It's your grandma. She's here today and she wants you to be successful in your business, just for that validation and that confirmation and to have fun with it, right? But again, niching down. Now is time to look at the offers that I've already created and ensure that I'm reaching the highest level of abundance with what it is that I already have, because simplify, simplify, simplify is also another message from 8. The 8 wants momentum and wants ease. So constantly creating new things and offering new things is not in alignment with that universal 8 energy. So there's 8 different soulful strategies for you to tap into that I recommended in 2024. And again, you can find them in the Soulful Planner, or you can find them in that free 2024 energy forecast, the predictions, and all the information is there. So we look at that universal 8 energy year and that higher perspective. And what we do with it is we plan with that energy for our soulmate clients. In the month of June, right here, right now, is a 5 energy. This is the perfect time for me to offer a brand new masterclass series. The information isn't new, the wisdom isn't new, the knowledge isn't new, but packaging this way is, because all of you are experiencing some very disruptive, some very chaotic changes in your life, whether you've chosen to or not, and in your business, whether you've chosen them or not. Now's the time for change. So how perfectly aligned is it that I offer this and say there's a better way and an easier way of doing things? Just understand the numbers. Figure out what 1 to 9 means. Add in a sprinkle of 10, 11, 22, 33, and you're off to the races. So I look at that universal 8 energy year and map out what my soulmate clients are going to experience, and create marketing plans, create offers based on that. And then the second layer of it universally that I look at is the month. So every single month holds an energy as well, and every single day holds an energy. So to calculate the universal year energy, you're adding up all the numbers of the year. 2 + 2 + 4 = 8. That's how we know we're in a universal 8 energy year. 6 is June, the sixth month. I lost my words there. June is the 6th month. So when we add 6 + 8, that's 14. 1 + 4 is 5. Then when we look at the universal day energy, same thing. So we'd be adding 6 for June, 27, 2 + 7, plus 2 + 2 + 4. And today is a 5 energy day. So when we add all of that up and reduce it to a number between 1 to 9, it's a 5 energy day. So this means it's a 5 energy day in a 5 energy month. Guess what? Yes, I did do that on purpose. I did plan this on purpose to end in a mini portal that's 5-5 because it's going to evoke change. Day 3 of the Masterclass mini series is going to evoke change for you. Higher levels of freedom. This was meant to be. Thank you. You always know what I need and where I strive to be. You're very welcome. So look at those universal energies and map things out, knowing that this is what we're all going to experience in the collective. And use it as an opportunity to create your offers, craft your offers, develop your content. And also look at your personal energy. So as the universe is coded to an energy this year, so are you. You are in a personal energy year. So you take your month, you take the day you were born, and you add 2024. Reduce it down to a number between 1 to 9, and this is your personal year. So if you can, quickly do that calculation and let me know what personal year you are in. Ooh, 8-8. Powerful stuff. Holy smokes. 3. So Vicky's working with the 3-8 energy this year. I'm in a 4 personal year. So the 4-8. Ugh. And I love these two numbers together. 3 7s. This is really interesting. When I'm in a personal year 3 and it's a universal 7 year, I go through significant loss. 2007, I left my home. I left my province. I drove across Canada and I rebuilt a life. I cried for about a year going, what the heck did I do? Because I left it all behind. Then 2014, so 7 years later, again, that would be am I doing the calculations right? I think so. Then 2014, I lost my mom. And then last year, I lost my papa, which was also a 7-3 energy. So knowing this doesn't mean that I can stop the massive loss that I'm going to experience in 7-3, but I can predict it and I can plan for it. Those are going to be years where I make sure that I've got vacation going on, that I'm not overworking myself, that I'm tapping into the divine feminine a lot more than the divine masculine. Maybe I'm pre-booking and planning ahead therapy sessions. I'm someone who I absolutely love talk therapy, but it's because I have an incredible therapist. It feels like I'm just hanging out with a friend and having a really highly emotionally intelligent conversation. So I do love that. And she also, it's not just about, well, how did that make you feel? It's about forward progress and momentum. Like, okay, what are we going to do about this? So there's some action that's being taken from it. My body stores all my emotions just like everybody else. And so maybe I would pre-plan some acupuncture sessions, some Reiki sessions, some massage therapy, and really just do everything that I can to plan ahead to take care of my nervous system, knowing that I'm going to experience big loss. Wendy, you're working with 5. So an 8 and a 5. Okay. So these are the 2 layers. When we look at our personal year, so think of it like this, that there's that outward, external planning, and then there's the internal, inner planning. So our personal year is how we are planning for ourselves. That universal year is how we are planning for the world. Does that make sense? Is that resonating? Okay. So let's talk about each of the years as they relate to the numbers and our business. So if you're in a personal year 1, what does that even mean? The 1 represents new beginnings and leadership. So in your business, this would be a fantastic time to beta test new things, to create some new products and try them out, to say yes to a project that's been on your heart and mind for quite some time. would be an incredible time to rebrand. I love, and it's a must, goal setting in a 1 energy personal year. Now, as I'm saying this, I can feel, I can sense, and I'm dropping into the question, does this information relate to a universal year? Yes. Does it relate to a universal month? Yes. Does it relate to a day energy? Yes. These would also be a great time to do those things. The universal year energy and the personal year energy is a much bigger energy than the month or the day. So if we were in a universal 5 energy year, this 5 energy day and 5 energy month would also have a universal 5 energy day. So that 5 energy would be completely amplified today, 11:44, as I'm saying that. So think of it that way, where it's like, there's layers to it, where it's like, it's going to be powerful. But if I wanted to really set some new goals, and it's not a universal 1 energy year, and I'm not in a personal 1 energy year, but I need to set some new goals, then maybe choose a 1 energy month and a 1 energy day as a possibility. 2, question first. If it's a month, day, and this year, I'm a 2. Is that a question? Can you repeat that, Melinda, or just say it differently so I understand you? If it's a month and day and this year, it's your month and your day. I know what you mean. Yes, it's your month you were born, the day you were born, and then this year, which is 2024. That's how you calculate your personal year. So you're a 2. So this one's for you, Melinda. Partnerships and collaboration. Personal year, universal years are all about partnerships and collaboration. So this would be a fantastic time to do a lot of networking or find new communities or groups of people that have shared values to enhance customer relations, to really get clear on who your soulmate clients are. This also would be a really great time to, if you haven't done so already, to create a contract for partnerships and collaborations. One of the things that I did for my newest team member was I recreated a contract that truthfully would not hold up in court, but it holds up in our business and it holds up in our life and in our friendship. That's rooted in our heart compass. So my values and how it is that I want to feel are a part of that contract, and so are hers. And then we clearly defined her roles and responsibilities, my roles and responsibilities, and we set intentions together of our work. What is it that we are here to achieve together? What are the benefits of us working together? And by us being together and saying yes to this and setting these goals, how are we going to feel together in this? So we're going to uphold our own personal values as embodiment, and we're going to uphold our heart compass of how it is that we want to feel. But together, what does the benefit look like? So 2 energy would be a really great time to hone in on those contracts that are going to support your partnerships and collaborations. Again, to make sure that your heart compass is aligned. In a universal 3 or personal 3 energy year, it's all about creativity and communication. 3 is that social butterfly. So any new networks that you thought of with the 2, the 3 is going to absolutely adore and love that. And maybe really need to be mindful of how much time and energy they're spending with other people to make sure that there's a balance for the creativity that wants to come through. This would be a great time so I'm speaking to you, Vicky, the 3. This would be a great time for you to hone in on your marketing campaigns, to possibly develop something like a podcast or write a book or create some workbooks. Maybe develop a new opt-in, a funnel, a new way for people to come into your world and for you to nurture and nourish those relationships. Also a great time to host workshops and retreats to get in person. And I know that Vicky is doing that. You'll love that experience in the 3 energy. 4, this is what I'm working on, is about stability and foundation. This one's difficult for many people in business, especially as spiritual entrepreneurs who are creatives, because we just want to keep doing creative things. But that 4 energy supports us to get freaking grounded in our systems and our structure. It loves to optimize systems. This would also be a perfect time for financial planning, to invest in training, and to really look at any problems or challenges that have been ongoing and find the solutions. Doing that research to find solutions. And if they're not solved, the 5 will support that, because 5 is about change and expansion. So personal year 5 or universal year 5 would be about exploring new markets. It loves adventure. It loves doing things differently. Again, it loves disruption and being a rebellion. So exploring new markets, embracing innovation by design. Again, I created this masterclass series in a 5 energy month because I thought, if it's going to be brand new, let's go about this masterclass series in a completely different way that I haven't seen anybody do before, even with my business mentors who know numerology. It's also a great time to revamp your strategy. So it also happens to be mid-year. So I've been looking back at my 2024 Soulful strategic plan and that high-level vision I have for my business in my conscious business plan, and just seeing if I'm on track. Seeing if I want or need to do anything differently. If there's something that isn't working, I'm going to let it go. If there's something that's going great, how can I amplify that? 6 is about service and responsibility. So this is a great time to focus your efforts on customer service. If you're in a personal 6 energy year or universal 6 energy year, again, how are you going to nourish and nurture your clients? So looking at, in the online space, your opt-ins, your funnels. When somebody comes into your world, what does that contract look like? What is the initial conversations that you're going to have with them? How are you going to support your soulmate clients to feel safe, to feel secure with working, to completely understand your intentions and the benefits of the 2 of you working together and those goals? Community development would also be a really great choice in a 6 personal year, as in getting involved in your community. So branching out and tapping into different markets that you did in the 5, and maybe partnering up with somebody for a fundraiser, or, considering, what's a good example of community development? Somebody in my community met an elder in the First Nations community. And so they are getting together on July 1st just to have really conscious conversations on Canada Day about First Nations experience in Canada and things that we can do to move forward together. It's a great opportunity for community development. Team building is a really great time in that 6 energy to embark on. And not every time I think of team building, because this is something that I did for so long, more than trust falls. In my world, this means getting every single one of your team members their numerology blueprint and helping them understand their ruling number, and looking at what your team has, what their strengths are, what their gifts are, and maybe seeing the gaps of where you're missing different skills and qualities. 7 is about reflection and analyzing. So the 7, again, loves action and forward momentum, but it also loves pumping the brakes and pausing and slowing down in order to speed up. That's why it's about reflection and analyzing. This is a great time for you to do a business audit. This would be an incredible time for implementing personal growth. So again, in 6, if you capitalize on team building, then recognizing somebody's energetic code and the challenges and the problems they have with that 7 energy, you know exactly what areas to focus on to develop strengths or to develop skills within their strengths. So personal growth for yourself and for your team. This is a great time to create a soulful strategic plan, maybe more long-term. It could be just for the entire year, but it could be for maybe a 9-year cycle if you have that ability to see that far ahead, or at least try to start casting a vision for the future. And I do believe this is so important for us as spiritual entrepreneurs. We often start our businesses out of frustration, right? We're often burnt out, we're overwhelmed. We feel like we've been holding back. We haven't really tapped into our highest potential. And so that's what lights the fire under our ass to get this business going. But what's going to keep us going in the long run? Because entrepreneurship is hard. If it wasn't, everybody would be doing it. And I have stats on how many people actually make it. And it's not that great. So I'm not going to share it today. There's not a lot of people that actually make it as entrepreneurs. The ones that do know where it is they're going. They do have that ability to see what 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years looks like. I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago with somebody and it was incredible. It was a couple minutes, but we plunked in some numbers to a calculator and it showed me how I could have $2.6 million in 20 years. I'm like, whoa, I never thought that was possible before. But now that you put it to me that way, I can see it. I can feel it. I can consider that. I can bring that into my energetic field, 1155, as I say that. And now I'm open to receiving that possibility that the universe could bring that to me in 20 years. So strategic planning with the 7. Remember, I'm a 7 of clubs. This is also why I'm really great at strategy and why I love strategic planning with people in their business. The 8 energy is about power and achievement. This universal 8 energy year, reclaim the power of infinite abundance. This is an opportunity for you to expand your influence. It's not a coincidence that I was gifted an opportunity to start my own TV show this year. I'm like, boom, universal 8 energy year, because I'm always saying, if not this, then something better. I wanted to start a podcast. I talked to my partner about it. He said, if you say yes to this, you know that you're going to have to put the podcast on the back burner because you can't do it all. I said, yeah, it's the universal 8 energy year. So I'm going to look at what's being handed to me on a silver platter and I'm going to roll with it. And we'll see what that looks like and what that feels like. And because I've done the work with that 2 energy, I honed in on that contract to know that whatever it is that I create for this TV show, the creative content, I own it. I hope that it gets on a network like Discovery Plus or Amazon Fire or Roku. And if it doesn't, this experience is going to take me to new heights. So that 8 energy wants you to tap into higher levels of influence. Again, showing up as the master of your craft, as the expert in your field. This is a year for profits. So if you haven't done so yet, figure out your conscious wealth plan. What are you calling in? How are you calling that in? And what are you spending? We often stick our heads in the sand when it comes to this. I just want to do what it is that I love. And I used to be notorious for this. Anybody who talked to me about Excel or Google Sheets, I would just say, I'm allergic. I can't do that. And finally, I had a friend who works in banking that says, take a fucking Benadryl and suck it up, buttercup. You're going places. You're kind of a big deal. You can't do that unless you know how to manage your money. I still don't use Excel or Google Sheets. There's one thing that I have to do today after this call that involves an Excel spreadsheet. It is the last piece on a checklist. And it's because somebody else created this process and says, you have to do it. I tried to get out of it. I said, what if I just downloaded my report from QuickBooks? Is that good enough? No, you need to fill out the Excel spreadsheet. I'm like, oh, so wish me luck. I will do it. I will get through it. But the reason why I can is because I've worked with that 8 energy, and I've worked with profits, and I understand my conscious wealth plan. I'm starting to have a better understanding of my conscious spending plan. Last year, I saved $8,000 in overhead expenses in my business. So proud. Ended up having to pay a lot of taxes to the government, which means I'm making it. I've made it. I'm making it. I'm doing the thing. A lot of friends, when I said, this sucks, I don't like this feeling of paying this much taxes. And they said, it's a really good sign. So again, just shifting our mindsets around money and currency and healing any wounds as it relates to abundance, because 8 wants us to grow. This is an opportunity for us to grow and scale our business to much higher levels. And that 9 energy takes everything home for completion. It is about death and endings and releasing and letting go. But it's also about celebrating. The 9 loves looking back and seeing that path of transformation that has occurred. So it's an incredible time for inner reflections before outer actions, for evaluations. If you haven't done so already, 9 energy might encourage you to develop surveys to get customer feedback, to gather more testimonials and review and reflect on those testimonials, to wrap projects that maybe you haven't had an opportunity to complete before, but more importantly, let go of things that are no longer serving you, especially in your business. If there's something that's no longer allowing you to feel how it is that you want to feel, or is stopping you from being an embodiment of your values in your heart compass, then what's the point? It's time to make those epic shifts and changes. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for being here. Conscious wealth plan. Tell me more, right? That feels so good. It's something that's going to be incorporated into the Numerology of Business immersion. So that is split up into 3 different sections. The first portion is the spirit of your business, where we get really clear on your energetic code, your soulmate client code, and we can work at the different partnerships that you have in your business and some of your teammates as well, to really get clear on the spirit of your business, on that energy that you hold. The second portion of that is the conscious business planning. And within that is the conscious wealth plan and the conscious spending plan. And so it's the foundation. Think of it as the spirit of your business is the heart. And then we bridge it into the conscious business plan, which is the mind, which is the mental energetic. So it's the vision, the mission, getting a lot more detailed on the values, looking at the strengths, and then specifically getting clear on the offers and the products and the services, their price points, and matching that with your capacity to call in a certain amount of clients to then create the amount of money that you want to create in a year. Then we look at the conscious spending plan. And sometimes when we look at the conscious spending plan, we go back to the conscious wealth plan and go, actually, I need to make another $10,000 this year in order for me to spend on what it is that I want to spend on. So it's another opportunity for us to create a beautiful relationship with the numbers and to get really clear and concise on the numbers. It's not something that I did when I first started this business as a side hustle in 2014, 2015. Really, all I looked at was, wow, I was able to generate another $12,000 on top of my salary doing this as a side hustle. And that's all I would celebrate. And then when I went full time in 2018, 2019, it was a must, because what was going out sometimes was a lot higher than what was coming in. And then especially in 2020, I took that big hit that a lot more was going out than what was coming in, because I was shifting everything from retreats and workshops and in-person gatherings to doing something online. And I didn't know how, to be truthful. I had an inkling, but I had a lot to learn. And so every single thing that I did to get clear on my numbers, for me, it's QuickBooks. It was really easy. I can connect my accounts to it. They get downloaded, and there's easy peasy reports that are created. So I can see, this is how much money I spend every year on personal development. This is how much money I spend every year on apps, for example, or things that support the systems in my business. This is how much money I'm spending on professional services. So it allows me to play in that energy. And just recently, because of 2020, 2021, and a little bit of 2022, it's been like, I don't know if I have it in me right now to take a full month off to go travel, for example, and just be outside of my business. But it's starting to come online again. Of, okay, what would it look like if I did have a housekeeper? How much money would that take every single month? And this is how I think now. When I want to hire somebody, when I want to hire a coach, or when I want to say yes to a course, or when I want to hire a subcontractor, I immediately bring it back to, if I get 2 people in the immersion, this will cover that cost. So I have my baseline. And then if there's something new that comes online that isn't a part of that conscious spending plan, then that's how I think of it. If I had 8 people sign up for one-to-one readings, this would cover the cost of that. Do I have the capacity for these 8 readings? Could I set aside 2 days to go through 4 readings a day for these 2 days to call in that money? So just getting really clear on our numbers in our business and learning to have fun and play with it, right? For my partner and I, the high level vision for me before he came into my world was cabin on a lake, clothing optional, really great Wi-Fi, not a lot of neighbors. One of the reasons why we are in a relationship is because he had that vision as well. Now we live in a seaside village on the ocean, on top of a mountain. In order for us to call in that vision right here, right now, it's about a 4 or 5 hour drive to get that piece of property. And he works long hours. So we decided we don't want him to end work on a Friday night, even if it's 7 o'clock. A 5 hour drive would bring us to our place at 2, 3 in the morning. So we thought, why not just get a boat, right? We're literally on the ocean. And then I could just meet him at the boat any day of the week after work if he gets done at a decent time. Sometimes he'll start at 4 in the morning and then he'll be done around 6 or 7. And we can meet at on the boat and just go for a little drive and have dinner on the boat. And that feels really fun. And then we start looking at boats and we start looking at how much it would cost and, how can we save that? And, what would the monthly payments be? Would we want monthly payments? Would we want to pay it outright? And create possibility. The universal 8 energy year is supporting all of us, hopefully, to do that. So when you hear about the energies and possibilities of things to do in your business, what really resonated with you? Whether it's your universal year, that 8, or your personal year. Anything coming through for you? Okay. Not a lot of conversation today. That's okay. It's Thursday, but it feels like Friday. We've already established that. Okay. I would love to hear from you in the chat though. What's the biggest takeaway that you got from today, from today's conversation? So the last piece, I talked about the spirit of your business. Then I talked about the conscious business plan. The last piece of the immersion is the soulful strategy. So this is where we look at the universal energy year. We look at your personal year and combine those energies to mash it all up, to look at if this is how you want to feel. And these are some of the goals that you're setting in terms of the energies that are coming through for us. This is what makes the most sense to say yes to. You might want to write a book, but perhaps based on the universal energies and your personal energy, now is not the time for that. Maybe now's the time to really anchor in on your niche and the systems and the structures within your business to create something that's sustainable, to nourish your own nervous system, to create the energy of you are safe, you are taken care of. And then once that can happen, that opens that portal of creativity to actually write the book or start the podcast. There is so many other energetic layers that we can go into. We also have the cardology that's woven in. So today, for example, is a 3 of clubs. When we talked about in day 1, our sun card and our soulmate client card, and we were discussing things like, 10 of diamonds or 4 of hearts, that is a part of cardology. And each day has one of those cards that holds an energy as well. And we have a year theme, and we have an inspired action, and we have 7 planetary influences that are 52-day cycles that we go through every birth year. So again, layers upon layers upon layers. Today has been about simplifying it. Today has been about understanding the foundation, understanding the basics, which are enough for you to manifest that handcrafted life and business that you love. My biggest takeaway is the power of creating a business strategy in line with the year number. So important. And what it does for us is gets us out of overthinking, gets us out of analysis paralysis. Again, my community has no problem with coming up with new ideas. In fact, it presents itself as a problem because there's so many possibilities. So what do I choose? Deciding is sometimes one of the biggest energetic blocks. Making a decision, saying yes to it, and putting one step in front of the other. So knowing and having this information makes it so easy because it's validating. Right, that's what I was thinking of. I was considering creating a new opt-in and a new funnel and developing a system for new clients to come in and get them into Numerology, a business immersion program, for example. That's what my heart was telling me. That's what my intuition was telling me. That's what my business coach was telling me. But also the universe and the energetic patterns that I'm experiencing and the collective is experiencing is saying that as well, as a personal 4 energy year and a universal 8 energy year. So this concludes our 3-day masterclass series for Numerology of Business. I've had so much fun sharing all of this information, sharing all this wisdom and knowledge with you. I would love for you to continue sharing what resonated, what you learned, what your biggest takeaways are. Feel free to pop into the Numerology of Business Facebook community, create a post, share it there, or jump on your own social media platforms, because this is a year to get visible. This 8 energy year wants you to be more of an influencer. And be sure to tag me on Instagram and Facebook, Anne-Marie Mackenzie 13. I'll send out the replay of this and all the days today. And I would love to continue working with you if you feel called to do so. One of the things that I do every single quarter is offer 1-to-1 numerology readings. This is not something that creates sustainability in my business, but it is a great way for us to get to know each other and for you to dip your toe a little bit further into your own energetic code. So you can book those in the month of July, and there is only 8 spots available, and they will go fast. The price point is only $222. So that's a really small investment for you to begin to understand on a deeper level your ruling number, your personal day number, and the personal year that you are in. This is a one-to-one conversation that's recorded on Zoom, and you also get a divine numerology blueprint report. Every single month, we have the Numerology of Business Collective. So that's the first Wednesday from 12 to 2 p.m. It's only $44 a month. And this is group coaching. We dive into the energetic forecast, and we have conscious conversations around soulful strategic planning in our business. So what's some of the content that we can create that's going to speak to our soulmate clients? What are some of the choices that we can make that are going to align with this energy to nourish our own nervous system, to honor the compass of our heart? And what are we going to do to work towards growing and scaling our business that in a way that's in alignment with these universal energies? This is a great community. It's spiritual entrepreneurs from all over the world. And if you join now for the month of July and August, you'll also get for free the incubator. So this will be a second session where people come in. We usually hang out for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And based on your energetic code, we incubate ideas and challenges. It is so fun. The amount of action that people have taken from the incubator has completely blown me away. Someone's totally defined their niche. I don't want to say shifted their business, but embraced and embodied their purpose and their meaning on a much grander scale than they have ever done before. They're already starting their new course, and they've already found a team to support them develop that course. For example, another person has worked their systems in their business and has found ways to be of higher service to their customers, and also to support their team and their own personal development. So much magic that's infused in the incubator. And again, it's only $44. The other thing that I want to offer you and invite you into is the Numerology of Business immersion. So we're kicking off this program in the month of July. It used to be a 3-month program, but I've extended it to 6 months. So for anybody that comes in end of June, beginning of July, you actually get 6 months for the price of 3 months, which is incredible. This is a hybrid program, as in there is self-study involved. That means there's recordings and workbooks for you to learn at your own pace. There is weekly group coaching calls, and there's also one-to-one individual strategy sessions with me. And in between our calls is Voxer coaching and support. So if you have a whole other month to wait before we get together, but you're incubating again an idea or a challenge, or you want to move forward with something, you can access me on a weekly basis. This is everything that you need to grow and scale your business. Again, it's the spirit of your business. So we'll dive into all aspects of numerology. And honestly, at the end of the course, you're going to be able to crunch the numbers for other people and understand their energetic code. So any client that comes into your world, you're going to have that basic understanding of, oh, they're ruling number 5. Their top priority is freedom, and they love change. And that's powerful stuff. You're going to learn in depth how to plan using the energetics of numbers as well, as you build out that conscious business plan and the soulful strategic plan for the year. So this is the best way for you to figure out how to authentically attract soulmate clients in a way that calls in higher levels of abundance, higher levels of freedom, joy, and love. This will support you to align fully with your purpose, to activate your gifts, and amplify the divine prosperity that is your birthright. So I did send out some information about all of those things in yesterday's email. I will add it into today's email as well. And if you're somebody who is thinking, that's a lot. I don't know which one to choose for me. Then just book a free 30-minute conscious business audit. So I will have a conscious conversation with you, look at your business, see where you're at, talk to you about your goals and where it is that you want to go. And I will make the best recommendation for you based on the amount that you want to invest in at this time. And that's all. Thank you so much. Amazing as always. I'll be messaging you. You're very welcome. I'm so glad that you guys have been able to be here, catching the lives. Thank you, everybody who is watching the replays. I can see the views on YouTube, so I know that a lot of you are catching the replays, and I really appreciate that. Enjoyed this. It was very tremendous. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with all of us. My absolute pleasure. Remember, I'm kind of a big deal, and so are you. Big love. We'll see you again soon. Thanks.